This is a huge step up for him.
Really? It's nothing. It's a walk in the park for Moses. Some people say I get blow in 1 or 2 rounds. I'm nothing.
Do you feed off that sort of stuff?
No. I feed off food, man.
So even though he was in the best shape of his career going into this fight, after the fight, it was said that Dillian Whyte had an injury, and you could clearly see there was something wrong with his legs because he was limping all over the place. Okay, now that we've debunked all the post-fight cope, let's watch some of this fight. After jabbing, Itauma drops his lead hand, sometimes all the way down to his waist, and he only really jabs from there anyway, so that's a bit of a tell, especially if he doesn't disguise it with anything else. Dillian sees it, but he's just too slow. I didn't like how Dillian was front foot heavy and leaning into punches. He's no Floyd Mayweather. He was able to dictate, if not score, so long as he threw his jab from the right distance at the right time and doubled it up. Committed to it too. This time Dillian Whyte doesn't react to Itauma's initial probe, which allows Itauma to dictate to him. I didn't like how he reacted to that mostly blocked tap. It just screamed beta to me. Itauma looked very nervous to me, so it made sense for Dillian to be very reactive and proactive, to try to dictate and also counter. The double jab was working, if not exactly scoring. Itauma's speed was always going to be a problem for Dillian Whyte. There he establishes lead hand position on the beta and hits him to the body. Forget the official stats, let's pause and talk about the massive reach advantage that Dillian Whyte had in this fight. Do you see it? Of course you do. So while Itauma is lunging in, shoulder forward, reaching, and still maybe a couple of inches away from Dillian Whyte's face, Dillian, who for his part is standing up straight with his shoulders square and maybe a little bit more bend in his arm, is just about reaching Itauma's face just the same. So this confirms what you saw in that face-off photo. A significant reach advantage for Dillian Whyte. The double jab from range set up by non-punching activity pays off with the hard shot, loud shot to the body. Dillian Whyte did a very good job reacting to the first phase of attack, but because of how he was reacting, cowering and blinding himself, he was very susceptible to the second phase. Dillian stopped setting up his double jab and started throwing single naked jabs to Itauma's chest, shoulder area. And even though Itauma's feints had him in all kinds of bother, he was still able to avoid the second phase of attack. But he did that by curling up into a fetal position, which left him vulnerable, especially to rabbit punches. So instead of being a wolf and punching with Itauma or smothering, crashing into him, he curled up into a ball of wool. Double that fucking jab, Kelly! I told you he'd walk into punching range without punching. Well, I guess he probed to where exactly? The shoulder? Chest? Curious choice again. Is it a beta get off me kind of a punch? Maybe. But he just paid a price for doing that, so he does it again? Dillian Whyte tries to time Itauma's predictable left, right, left head movement, but Itauma's just quick enough to get away with these mistakes. Itauma looked a bit disappointed with himself there, and he took his time thinking about what had happened, in my opinion, while Dillian Whyte, just kind of let him take his time and think. Even though he did do that double jab, finishing to the body, it was a little bit lazy, and I kind of felt like he was letting him off the hook. And maybe more importantly, he was just probing and jabbing low, exclusively submitting lead hand positioning. Beta. I didn't like this guard from Dillian Whyte because it wasn't mobile like in that little warm-up he did before the fight, and it was just very submissive. He was handcuffing himself. He was just paranoid about getting knocked out with a devastating uppercut, and he couldn't punch from there. And again, it wasn't reactive, it was preemptive. And he was using both arms to shield from the uppercut, handcuffing himself. Also leaving Itauma with all these other options, just not that one punch that had slept him in the past. Single, naked, hard jab to a non-scoring area, so it's not going to do any damage with this. What do you think is going to happen? So now Itauma starts feeling himself because he asked Dillian Whyte if he was a wolf or a sheep, and in response Dillian Whyte bleated. So he jumps up in the air right in punching range. He has nothing to worry about. Itauma drops his lead hand, so you know he's going to jab, and from this point on he is wide open for Dillian Whyte's best punch, but Dillian just looks at him. Itauma lands a nice right hook over the top. Dillian Whyte's legs look good. He's very defensively aware, responsible. He reacts to that punch behind the head by ducking afterwards and covering up, moving to the ropes. As he ducks down again, he gets hit on the shoulder, pushed into the ropes. Itauma's not landing anything clean. Dillian Whyte is staggering for some reason. And once again, he's just giving up. He's just giving up. And that looks like it legitimately hurt him for the first time in the fight. He beats the count, but he falls back into the ropes. And I think the referee sees the writing on the wall. And that is a jobber that's not there to win the fight.
And there is a killer is God, I'm nothing. I'm just cannon fodder, so yeah.